Resident Evil is known for having extremely challenging difficulties. Usually when you eventually decide to start that playthrough, you have all the bonus weapons unlocked, which gives you access to the strongest handgun in the game, circular saw, or even a nice pair of running shoes that allows you to run faster. Using any of these bonus items would make the Madhouse difficulty too easy. So why not willingly torture myself and beat Resident Evil and Madhouse without any of the bonus weapons or items? This would only be my third playthrough of this game, so it's not like I know this game all that well. So not only am I going into this while not remembering much about the combat, but I had literally no plan except to just click start game. That's all I got. In this mode, enemies are obviously a lot stronger, but you have to find cassette tapes to actually save your game, and autosaves are not as frequent. In the beginning, I wasn't sure how scarce these items are, but I don't intend on dying, so this won't be an issue at all. With that being said, let me give you guys some context as to why we are even here. This journey begins when the main character Ethan Winters receives a message from his wife Mia, who supposedly disappeared 3 years ago. She tells him to stay away, and Ethan, being the obedient husband he is, does the exact opposite and goes to search for her in Louisiana at the Baker's farmhouse. What a guy, walking through miles of crocodile-infested waters in Louisiana to find his wife, all because he wanted to be pegged. Good for him. This is where I take control. Oh god. Despite seeing all these horrible things all around him and whatever the hell this is, it doesn't raise any red flags for him. Is Mia really worth all this? The inside of the house looked totally normal, so I walked past everything. Pulling this lever down, it opens up a secret door in the wall, so climbing down a ladder when Ethan's fat ass breaks it, I eventually run into Mia.
Daddy's coming. We need to go.
Daddy?
We need to go now!
I thought I was already here. As I'm in the other room, she starts to freak out and breaks down this wall or something. I'm not really sure what happened. Maybe Daddy took her, since apparently that's not me. Back upstairs, where there's suddenly a knock on the basement door, the place I just came from. Seeing as Ethan is clearly extremely smart, I investigate. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, no, she's not worth all this. She attacks me and my poor hand is getting absolutely obliterated. After ruining my good hand, she regains control and slams herself into the wall, knocking her out. Don't worry, she rose again like Christ and was forced into the first fight of the game. All you gotta do is slap her a few times with the axe the game gives you and she'll fall. I quickly grab the fuse inside the wardrobe and insert it into the fuse box. When walking back out, I am once again greeted by Mia. Can she please leave me alone? She then proceeds to cut off my hand. When I get up, I quickly pick up my hand like everything is fine and run upstairs where I can find the first pistol. This is also where you are forced to fight Mia again, who has a chainsaw this time. Not really sure where she found that, but whatever. I end up dying here once simply because I suck. After defeating her, I wait around looking at all this beautiful architecture, when all of a sudden this guy comes out of nowhere and pounds me. He drags me back to the Baker's house, where we wake up in what I can only assume is Asmongold's house. Well, this seems like a lovely family. They try to feed me, but Ethan's ungrateful ass doesn't accept it. Jack cuts off his son's arm for a bit of family fun, and I flirt with Granny. When they all walk away, I break through my restraints and immediately go to the fridge, hoping for some alcohol. Maybe if I'm drunk, this won't be bad. Jack patrols the house, so you have to avoid him. Overall, pretty easy to do. This man had me clenched the entire time. You might think you can outrun him. I promise you, you can't. I didn't even know that could happen, so pretty cool, I guess. After opening this hatch and crawling under the house, I end up in the lodge room where I can save, check the item box, or take a breather. I have access to some of the bonus weapons, but as I said earlier, I won't be using those. The only thing I'll be using are the default weapons, as well as the items you can buy using antique coins, such as a defense token. As I'm getting ready to leave, I get a phone call from someone named Zoe. Basically, we need to get to the trailer outside to create a cure. The door is locked to the main portion of the house, but someone else knocks again. This time though, it's an officer here to investigate the strange disappearances around the property. I ask him for a gun, he shockingly declines. Wonder why he would do that. Somehow Ethan convinces the officer to give him the pocket knife. It's better than nothing. Heading down to the garage with the officer already there, the garage door starts to close and the cop's body turns into something that isn't monetizable on YouTube. Don't worry, he'll be fine. Jack really likes Ethan, so he tries to kill me again. I pick up the officer's gun, grab the ski and get into the car. I waited for Jack to pull me out so I can get a few shots into his face. He starts doing some sick donuts.
I woke up in a new Bugatti.
It doesn't last long though, as he crashes into a wall and the car lights on fire. He actually grabbed me here and I thought I was dead, but the car blew up, saving me. As I try to climb up the ladder, he wakes up again and... Wait, can I even show this on YouTube? Whatever. I quickly grab the statuette needed for the door to the main house and enter it. I of course do a lot of looting, but I'm not really going to talk about that, so just know that it happened. With all the antique coins I found, I buy the scorpion key and continue to make my way further into the house. Making my way to the save room to drop off some items and save again. I should also say that since cassette tapes were needed to save, I wanted to be careful with how much I did it, but I kept finding them and by the end of the game I still had like 10 left over, so I saved a lot during this playthrough. Making my way downstairs and barely avoiding enemies. Well, that's not exactly barely avoiding them, but whatever. I keep going and come across the room where I would spend the next 20 minutes in. The first main boss fight. After grabbing the first piece needed to open the front door, Jack once again comes out of nowhere and knocks us down. The boss fight itself isn't that hard, yet I have always sucked at it. Do enough damage till he opens up, shoot a few loads into him, then eventually he'll grab his chainsaw and you can grab yours. You can kick these body bags to stun him, allowing you to get a few hits in. I kept missing some of these kicks, which resulted in me getting hit, of course. I died a few times, but around 20 minutes in, I was able to take him down. This was surprisingly easier for me on Madhouse than it was on Standard when I did that playthrough a few months ago. Exploring this house was a damn maze. I think I got lost around 13 times. I find a broken shotgun that I saved in my item box that I'll be able to fix later on in the game, grabbing the 2 pieces needed for the door, one in this book and the other in this grandfather clock. Anyone else hear that? Anyways, now that I have the 3 pieces needed, I make my way outside to the trailer. I first grab the repair kit on the side of the house and fix my shotgun. Walking inside and finding a wonderful present right there on the table, a grenade launcher. What a beautiful sight to see. Zoe calls again and says I have to go to the old house where Mother is. This was one of my least favorite parts of the game. These bugs are so fucking annoying. They had me crashing out once every 3 minutes. I need to do a few different puzzles here to find a part for the cure. I line the spider onto the picture, find this extra backpack for some more storage, and save for like the 5th time. Passing through the wall with these disgusting things crawling all around me, I think this might be the scariest part in the entire game. I have to avoid all the bugs, which I don't really do a good job at doing. I use quite a few heals here, which will cause some issues for later on. After I grab the key, I go up to open this crow door when Margaret pushes me down the stairs. You need to shoot her a few times until she falls. It's actually so easy, and yet I somehow managed to die. So after doing everything again, I do enough damage for her to fall. With her gone, I can walk through the door and the phone rings again. I need to find a lantern to balance the scale to get through this door. And who's holding that lantern? Well, Margaret, of course. Oh, hell no. Yeah, why not follow? What could possibly go wrong? This puts me into another boss fight to get rid of her for the last time. Going up these stairs when she slams through the window, hitting me. I try to avoid getting hit, but I'm not sure if that's actually something you can do or not. She loves to crawl on the ceilings, respawn these flies the entire fight. Half the time, I don't even know where she is. Not only was this boss fight long, it was extremely boring as I'd be running around trying to find her. I was of course using headphones during this, so I tried following the noise coming from her, but for some reason I still couldn't find her. She would be in some of the weirdest spots. This fight took a few tries. I only had time for a few attempts the first night, so I wasn't able to beat her for a few days. But when I got back on the game, I was able to take her out after a few more attempts. Not a good boss fight. Also not sure why her weak spot is there. Moving on and using the lantern on the scale, I find the part needed for the cure when I turn around and see a small child standing outside. Yeah, I don't want to play this game anymore. I run out and get jump scared by this guy and run around everyone else. Back in the trailer, I find a very nice note attached to this guy's head, so I head over to the dissection room, fist this guy, and retrieve the snake key. There are a few enemies that I would come across, some I would kill, but most I would run past while screaming like a little girl. After I do this really easy puzzle, a secret hatch opens under the bed. But before I go down, I grab another backpack in the closet. Heading down and coming across whatever the hell this is on the table, I found the first keycard I need. It took me quite a while to figure out where I needed to go, but eventually I made my way into the attic and did another puzzle giving me the second keycard. Now I can enter Lucas's ugly ass house. This area sucked. Some of these crates would have explosives in it, and there would be trip mines literally everywhere. Even when I think I got them all, there was one sneaky one that either killed or at least hurt me. I died here multiple times. After crashing out quite a bit, I come across the store with Lucas waiting for me. He tells me to put in like 4 different codes, and I of course listen to him because why would he lie? Making my way through the secret door and into this barn. The way all these houses are connected are so weird. I mean, what did they use with all this extra space before the mold got them? I mean, this room was the only necessary room, where else would you watch porn? Either way, this area has a mini boss fight. After grabbing the battery and inserting it over here, these 2 fat guys will come down the elevator to join in on the fun. I died a few times here as well. It was entirely a skill issue. I could have just been hiding behind the hay the entire time and I would have been fine. It wasn't until a few attempts in I would start doing it. My grenade launcher and a narrow round was extremely helpful here, so I would stun them and take them out one at a time. Moving on, doing this birthday puzzle, putting my hands into some chocolate water, put in some codes, and lighting the candle. I was really nervous here as I didn't want to do it all over again if I died. The only way to fail is by picking up the piece in the barrel, which I didn't do, but there has been a time in my first playthrough where I almost died because I could not find the dynamite to blow up the wall. It was glitched. I was praying it wouldn't happen here, and thankfully it didn't, and I could move on and grab the last part needed for the cure. On to what was by far the worst part of this run, the final Jack fight. When I arrive in the shed, I reunite with Mia and Zoe. She takes the items for the cure when Jack comes out of nowhere in his new mutated form and forces me to fight him. Going into this fight, I had a good amount of ammo, I had a few extra heals, grenade launcher rounds. This should be easy. Yeah. No, it wasn't. This man would somehow hit me every time, and if I get hit once, I'm already low, so that's another heal gone. He also has this acid attack that you could avoid, but I selected avoiding it, causing me to reset multiple times. He has several eyes all over you need to shoot to move on to his final phase. For the first attempts, I wanted to keep my distance as I wanted to try and avoid using all my heals. I honestly should have just gone face to face with him right from the start. Some of his eyes were easy to hit, like the one on his face or on his sides. Those weren't the issue. However, he has 2 eyes underneath him. The easiest way to shoot them is by waiting for him to climb up top, then jump down, and then shoot him. It was much easier said than done. Sometimes, as soon as I jumped down, he would follow and I would have to repeat it a few times until he showed me his balls so I could shoot him. I would use used all my grenades around first to do as much damage to each guy as I could, then used my flamethrower, which actually does pretty good damage against him surprisingly. However, I didn't find that out until pretty far into this boss fight, like 20 attempts in. Not all of them were deaths, however. Sometimes I would either miss a shot with my grenade launcher and restart, or take an early hit, which happened a lot. I mean, just look at me. I don't look very happy, do I? At this point, I felt like I tried everything, and there were multiple times where I actually beat his first phase, but died because it was really hard to dodge his attacks in the second phase. When you don't have heals, that's kind of a big deal. This one was pretty bad, but after 41 attempts, yes, 41 attempts, I finally put the last bullet into this bitch. This last attempt actually went really well. I did a lot of damage early, didn't use many heals, as I was able to finally learn his attacks and avoid them. I didn't have much ammo after, but that's fine. I'm just glad I'm done with it. This took me almost an hour and a half. Yeah, trust me, I know. Anyways, moving on from that horrible area into my least favorite section of the game. Not because it's hard or anything, I just hate it. The boat. After beating Jack, I decided to save Mia. I mean, she's the whole reason I came here, so why would I save some random girl I don't care about? Although I can't say I care about Mia either. They take off on a boat before it was destroyed by something in the water, knocking them both out. Waking up with nothing on me until I find Ethan, who is then taken by the mold in front of me. I am now Mia. I'm just gonna give a brief summary on everything that happens here, as I just don't like this part. I have to track down Evelyn in the past before the boat crashes, dealing with a number of enemies and puzzles. Most enemies were easy to take out, except for the ones down here in the cargo hold, or whatever this place is. I died multiple times here and was, as usual, crashing out, trying not to break my monitor. There was also a big guy here, but he was easy to take out, thankfully. To get downstairs, I have to get a fuse and a tube, or whatever this is. So doing some more boring puzzles, taking out more enemies, I get the elevator working and make my way downstairs. Ethan seemed to have contact with Jack within the mold. Everything was caused by Evelyn. She destroyed this innocent family and caused all of this destruction. How sweet of her. Now playing as Ethan again as Mia locks us out of the room, the next part is basically just run and shoot and avoid the traps. A lot of enemies are here, but using the traps to my advantage, it wasn't bad. When trying to push this minecart down, these guys caught up because they're so fast, and Ethan can't move quick enough to save his damn life. This next area is once again run and shoot, and that's exactly what I did. Died many times, and when I would get close, this fat guy would be blocking my path, ruining all my hopes and dreams. It took a few attempts, but after a while I decided I'm killing everything in this area so I can just walk on by with no issues. But after a while I made it through and made it into another boss fight. Two really fat guys. Yeah, I died again, and had to do everything all over again. But on the second attempt, I was able to barely pull it off and kill them both. Sure, I was panicking a lot, but hey, I did it, that's all that matters. Now onto the final section of the game. Back in the guest house, seeing flashbacks of Mia attacking us and Evelyn being annoying. I ignore him and go upstairs to start the final boss fight. It's very easy. Run over to her, block when she's attacking, and repeat until you're close enough to inject her with a serum. Pretty simple. The next phase could cause more issues, but as long as I keep shooting, it'll do enough damage to put me in the third and final phase, ending the game. Chris comes out of nowhere and drops a powerful handgun, and I unload into the monster until I kill it, and that's it. Chris, or whoever the hell this is, comes down to save Ethan and Mia. He takes us out of here on a helicopter, probably to someplace in Europe, probably some nice village. I hope the residents aren't evil there.
I'll slice your throat and stuff it with worms.
Anyways, game's over. I beat the game at Madhouse. Took me just over 7 hours and 94 restarts. That is crazy. However, I did not get the achievement for the Madhouse run. I thought it might have been because of me using a defense token, but that wasn't it. It took me restarting the game twice for it to finally give it to me, or else I would have had to do it again, and I was not willing to do it again. Overall, it wasn't that bad, to be honest. Jack's fights were difficult to get through, but everything else wasn't horrible. It was more boring than anything. Not sure if I'll ever do any more challenge runs for this game. I think I've done everything I want to in this game. Not that I hate it or anything, I just don't find it as replayable as the others. And if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to see me do these challenges live, I will leave the link to my Twitch in the description. Let's try to reach 10,000 followers by the end of the day. With that all being said, thank you all for watching.